Hello, BookTube. Well, I got another book shipment, and it's not small, and it has a huge box, so I couldn't very well open it off camera. But I want to make sure that we're on the same page here, and we understand that it's not going to be 4 Steve videos a day forever. It's just Steve overload for now, but then things will go back to normal. But I couldn't. This looks like a nice meaty mail haul. I wanted to open it with you, but it is certainly, positively, absolutely the final book shipment of the week. And then we have Sunday, where there are no books at all. And I'm going to have to spend, I've already started with the books in this room. I'm going to have to spend at least an hour tonight organizing everything out in the other room. I have one bookcase along one wall that is just piled with organized galley copies. And I spent a little time organizing a bit of it. I'm going to have to spend at least another hour tonight organizing just this week's books. Anyway, let's see what we have here. Let's see if it's of interest. That last one was only 3 books long, but it was quite good. So let's see here. Oh, fantastic. All right, great. I requested this because it seemed so incredibly interesting. This is due in June from Europa Editions, the great Europa Editions. I'm pretty sure that they're universally beloved on BookTube. And this is a novel by Nick Arvin called Mad Boy. An account of Henry Phipps in the War of 1812. It's set during America's forgotten War of 1812. Mad Boy is a funny and picaresque tale about family, history, and perseverance. Young Henry Phipps has set out to realize his dead mother's last wish, to be buried at sea, surrounded by her family. Not an easy task, considering Henry's ne'er-do-well father is in debtor's prison, and his comically earnest older brother is busy fighting the Redcoats on the battlefields of Maryland. But Henry's stubborn determination knows no bounds. As he dodges the cannon fire of clashing armies and picks up the ruins of a burning capital, he meets looters, British defectors, renegade slaves, a pregnant maiden in distress, and scoundrels of all types. Mad Boy is at once an antic adventure and a thoroughly convincing work of historical fiction that recreates a young nation's first truly international conflict and a crucial moment in American history. Entertaining, atmospheric, and touching, the book will transport readers with its cast of vivid characters, its masterful storytelling, and its poignant tale of a young man burdened by an outsized undertaking. That just sounds fascinating to me. I don't know if you're going to be able to see from the... this is just an advanced copy, so there's no cover art. But even the cover is going to look distinctive if they stick with this design. Let me see if I can make it at all visible in this horrible lighting. It's just a boy peeking out from behind something. It's just the whole thing strikes me. I mean, I am impressed by Europa Editions all the time. They're constantly surprising me with stuff that I didn't expect. In fact, editorially speaking, they seem to have a penchant for unconventional historical fiction, which is great. So, Mad Boy, I will read it. I won't read it anytime soon. It'd be hard to set it aside, but I will, because I've got a mountain of books that come before it in line. I will read it in the spring, and get back to you on whether or not it lives up to its vibe. But the vibe is very good. And if it does, I think we should all go and read it. In fact, why not have a big BookTube read-along? I'm sure the Europa Editions would like that. This next one's from Norton, as you all know, one of my favorite publishers. They can almost do no wrong. So watch this book be a dud. Oh, no, I hope not. Let's see here. No, it isn't. Okay, great. Great. I requested this. This is due in July, and it is by Porter Fox, and it's called Northland. A 4,000-mile journey along America's forgotten border. America's northern border is the world's longest international boundary, yet it remains obscure even to Americans. Travel writer Porter Fox spent 2 years exploring its length by canoe, freighter, and car. And in Northland, he delivers a little-known history of the region and a riveting account of his travels. He follows explorer Samuel de Champlain. His adventures, recounts the rise and fall of the iron, wheat, and timber industries, crosses the Great Lakes on a freighter. I've done that. And tracks America's fur traders through the boundary waters. It's full of colorful characters, and throughout, the author weaves in his encounters with residents, border guards, Indian activists, and military leaders to give a dynamic portrait of a Northland racked by climate change, water wars, and heightened border security. That just sounds great. That just sounds fantastic. And I spent a lot of time in exactly the circumstances that he describes, so I can't wait to read it. And yet I will wait to read it because it's another summer release. Let's see here. It's nice to be getting these summer releases because it's a slight hint that summer is around the corner if we don't all die. Let's see. What's this next one? Okay. Okay, this one's due in August. It's from Grove. I didn't request it. It's kind of striking looking. It's by Lisa Locascio, and it's called Open Me. Bright purple. Let's see here. Roxana Olson has always dreamed of going to Paris. And after high school graduation, finally plans to travel there on a study abroad program, a welcome reprieve from the bruising fallout of her parents' divorce. But a logistical mix-up brings Roxana to Copenhagen instead. Oh, she traded up. I don't know. I know she's not going to think that, but oh my God, did she ever. Where she's picked up at the airport by Soren, a 28-year-old guide who is meant to be her steward. Instantly drawn to one another, Roxanne and Soren's relationship is not the thing that was drawn to each other. That's okay. Roxanne and Soren's relationship turns romantic, and when he asks Roxana to accompany him to a small town in the north of Denmark for the rest of the summer, she doesn't hesitate to accept. There, Roxana's world narrows and opens as she experiences fantasy, ritual, and the pleasures of her body, a thrilling realm of erotic and domestic bliss. But as their relationship deepens, Soren's temperament darkens, and Roxana finds herself increasingly drawn to a mysterious local whom she learns is a refugee from the Balkan War. An erotic coming-of-age like no other. Well, it certainly sounds like no other. From the magnetic new voice in fiction. Oh, is this a debut? Wow. Okay, so who is this author when she's at home? Lisa Locascio? Who are you? Now I want to know. Oh my God. 3 pages of solid listing of names of people without whom this novel would not be possible. Her work has been published in The Believer, Salon, N+1, Book Forum, Tin House, American Short Fiction, Los Angeles Review of Books, and elsewhere. She's a co-publisher of Joyland and editor of 7x7 LA. She currently teaches creative writing at Wesleyan, and this is indeed her first novel. Wow. Okay, so this comes out, did I say already? This comes out in August. And it doesn't sound like any novel that I've heard about this year. So that's interesting. All right, and then we'll move on here. One of these white things. What do we got here? Oh, okay. This is a paperback release of something we've seen on this channel before. I think we saw it when it first came out. This is A Divided Spy by Charles Cummings. Which, right? I think didn't we see this? This is the paperback. Yeah, the book came out in 2017. I think we saw this on this channel already. This is the story of disgraced MI16 operative Tom Kell, first introduced in the book Foreign Country. Tom Kell thought he was done with spying. He devoted his life to the service, but it has left him with nothing but grief and a simmering anger against the Kremlin. Then Kell is offered an unexpected chance at revenge. Taking the law into his own hands, he embarks on a mission to recruit a top Russian spy who is in possession of a terrifying secret. As Kell tracks his man from Moscow to London, he finds himself in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse in which it is becoming increasingly difficult to know who is playing whom. I believe I got this book when it first came out, but I don't remember ever reading it. I don't think I did. I think, okay, this doesn't even have a date for the paperback. It must be out already. But I got it, and I think I had a potential freelancer who was all on fire for espionage fiction. Was going to do this big, great piece on espionage fiction. Never did, of course, and I don't think I ever got the book back. But then we have the box. And unlike the last box, this one has some weight to it. So I don't think it's going to be a catalog. Let's see what we have here. What have we here? It'll either be one huge book, or it'll be many books. And if it's many books, sorry, I'm basically 5 years old, so I can't resist. If it's many books, then I can always hope that it's a box full of romance novels. Wouldn't that be great? I've got a romance novel that really tripped my trigger in a while. I thought briefly about rectifying that by going to the Boston Barnes & Noble, the big Boston Barnes & Noble tomorrow, Sunday, because usually I get my mass markets. Usually publishers don't send me mass markets anything like the number of the mass markets that I'm interested in, whether it be science fiction or romance. So those are the things I treat myself to when I go to a retail bookstore. When I go to Barnes & Noble in Boston, those are the things I look for. I don't look for anything that I might be able to get in the mail or ask a publisher to get me from their warehouse. Instead, I just get those. And they're just indulgences. And it's a wonderful feeling. It's a feeling I share with the rest of you. My book experience is radically different from most other people on BookTube. I freely admit that. I'm incredibly warmed at how the rest of you have taken me to heart, and you've sort of adopted me anyway, even though our bookish experiences are often so radically different. My books come to me. I don't go to them. And there's almost never any money involved. But in that way, we're exactly the same. I experience just the same as anybody else, the absolute giddy thrill of hunting for a book in a new bookstore when you have enough money in your pocket to buy one, and then picking one, or maybe more than one, and coming back with it. It's a tremendous feeling. I know I shouldn't say that because it's just a stupid vindication of capitalism, but I think we can all agree books supersede capitalism. And I love doing that, but there's absolutely no way that I'm going to do that this week. No way whatsoever that I'm going to do that. I am not going to acquire in any way whatsoever any books tomorrow. None. None are coming in the mail, and I'm not stirring out of doors except for walks with my little schnauzer. And it's supposed to be pouring rain all day, so there might not be many of those. I'm not going anywhere near any place that even could provide me with a book, even for free. So I'm afraid that plan of going to buy romances is going to have to wait until some other time, because I'm not going to do it tomorrow. My book acquiring for the week stops with this video. These are the last books I'm getting in a week in which secondhand and new I probably acquired just in this week something like 100 books. That's ridiculous. So no. Tomorrow, no. But let's see what's it. BookTube. It's a box of books. And it's not just a box of any books. It's a box of Loeb Classical Libraries. It's a box with my oldest and best friends in it. Okay. All right. Deep breaths. It's a box full of Loeb Classical Library editions. For those of you who might not know what that is, Harvard University Press publishes a series of editions of the classics of ancient Greece and Rome. The Greek volumes have green dust jackets, and the Latin volumes have red dust jackets, and they have the original Latin or Greek on one side and an English translation on the other, with notes, and the originals are usually very nicely chosen versions of themselves, and it's unlike reprint houses like Random House or Penguin or whatever, who will come out with classics from Greece and Rome. Unlike those, Loeb's mission is to do everything. They're not just going to do a new edition of Tacitus or Livy or Plato. They're going to do everything. All the writing from the ancient world. All the writing from my time. All the writing that I know better than I know anything. And I know lots of writing well, but I know... Well, let's see what we have here, shall we? Uh, okay. Okay. Uh, okay. These first two volumes are two volumes of Galen, who was a foundation for the medical profession for 1,000 years, more than 1,000 years. This is books 1 through 4 of the Hygiene, and then the Hygiene book 5 and 6, and a bunch of little things, including on exercise with a small ball. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, so the Greek is Galen, and now the very heart of the matter. I love the classics of ancient Greece, of course. I read the Odyssey and the Iliad every year. I'm a deep fan of the letters of Greece, but the Latin classics? Ancient Rome? As much as I love the classics of ancient Greece, there is no comparison whatsoever. The classics of ancient Rome are indispensable to me. And there are 3 of them in here. So let's see what we have. So the first one, it looks like, okay, the first 2 is they do a series of fragments, of literary fragments that aren't whole books, aren't whole manuscripts, and that where the whole thing can't be reconstituted or guessed at. And it's the fragmentary Republican classics, and these are Ennius. So we have dramatic fragments, minor works, the Testimonia, and epic fragments, the fragments of the epics that Ennius wrote. And these don't exist. You can't get a popular edition of Ennius at all, for much less these things. No way. It just doesn't happen. And for instance, his epic fragments, I wonder if they're listed in here. His epic fragments, I have never read in English. I probably have never read, in fact, I doubt that I've ever read those minor works by Galen in English either. I wonder if this gives something more detailed. Okay, well, yeah, it's fragments from. Well, you're probably not gonna know Ennius, are you? Okay, I'm gonna resist obscuring your eyebrows off your head, but oh my, we've got one more here, and that'll be it for the lobes. It's a. Okay, deep breath. This final lobe isn't Ennius, and it isn't Galen, and it isn't the outer ring of the bullseye, and it isn't the inner ring of the bullseye. It is the center of the bullseye. It is one of the 2 Roman writers who are my absolute favorites, and for nonfiction, the number 1 favorite. This is Livy, and this is his History of Rome, books 35 to 37. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Alright. So this is the Loeb Livy, books 35 through 37, Latin on one side, English on the other, with lots and lots of notes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. Alright. I'm going to have to work really hard to stop this from derailing my previously announced reading plans for the weekend. Because Livy, so to speak, is not going anywhere. There is absolutely no justification for me reading this from start to finish lovingly this weekend. So I have other books to read this weekend. Oh my. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's regain our composure here. And so we have Northland by Porter Fox. We have Mad Boy by Nick Arvin, a novel, The War of 1812. We have Divided Spy, now out in paperback. We have Open Me, a debut. And we have Loeb Classical Library editions. 2 volumes of Galen. 2 volumes of Ennius. And 1 volume of Livy. So now I'm going to go. I'm not going to disrupt my weekend's reading with Livy, but I am going to give him the next 45 minutes alone. But I will see you soon, book 2. Thank you.